Hi guys, it's Izzy, and in today's video I'm so excited to be sharing another film discussion because this is about a film that has blown my mind recently, easily the best film I've seen all year. And this film is called Platform. It was released in 2019 in Spain, but recently on Netflix in 2020. So it is actually a Spanish horror film, and I will leave the name of the director on screen because I don't want to butcher the name, that would be disrespectful. And I'll just give a quick premise of the film because this is a film I really don't want to spoil for you guys if you guys haven't seen it yet. Definitely just listen to the premise, go and watch it for yourself if you haven't seen it already, and then come back and please share your thoughts with this film on this channel discussion, please, because I am begging to talk about this film with someone. So as a quick summary, The Platform is a horror film. It is an 18, and for good reason. It is quite gory. And I watched this film for the first time with friends and then with my family for the second time because it was so good. I just had to force someone else to watch it and enjoy the viewing experience with me because it is definitely a film I would recommend watching in a group of people. If you're ever watching something with friends and you can't decide what to watch, definitely stick The Platform on because it is one you want to sit and discuss while you watch because there are so many twists and turns and it is so deep as well. So the basic summary of the film, it's a very, very simple idea. Basically there is like this prison, it's called The Hole, or El Hoyo in Spanish. I have definitely butchered that one, but that's what the film is in Spanish, The Hole. And each floor has 2 prisoners per level, and they go increasingly down, and there's an unknown number of levels, but there is a platform of food that comes down on each level, and the people on the top get to eat as much as the food as they like, and then whatever they don't eat, the platform below gets to eat. So basically, the lower down you are, your chances of getting something to eat for dinner are looking pretty slim because you just get to eat everyone else's leftovers, and if everyone else is hungry, then you don't get left with an awful lot. So that is the basic plot summary of the film. I am going to be going into spoilers now. I didn't want to ruin spoilers in the summary, but this is going to be a discussion because trust, this is a film that you have to talk through. So at first I thought that this film was going to be completely different to what it turned out to be. I thought it was just going to be like a horror, sort of dystopian, a survival film, which that's all true, but this film is also so much more than that. I didn't realise how deep and mind-blowing this film was going to be, and it basically turned out to be a complete mirror on society, which I know that's such a cliche thing to say, but it really is. It's a perfect reflection about human greed and selfishness and capitalism. So I first realised that this was going to be a deep philosophical film when the main character's talking to his first roommate, if you like. And the main character's in there because he's actually trying to earn a degree, and he's promised to receive anything that he wants in exchange for doing the platform and surviving it for 6 months. Well, he's not even told it's surviving it, but just lasting the 6 months. And the person he's put on the same level with, the old man, he is actually in there as a prisoner because he committed a crime, so he got imprisoned in there for a year. And this old man is complaining about how he doesn't deserve to be in there because the reason he's in there is he threw his television out of his window in anger, and it ended up falling on an illegal immigrant and killing him, and he starts kicking up a fuss that he shouldn't even be there because the illegal immigrant shouldn't even be there. And just for the record, I don't share the old man's view that he didn't do anything wrong for killing an illegal immigrant because I personally think a life's a life. And it was at this point during the film where I turned to my mate and I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, no, this isn't just a horror film, this is a philosophical film. It's really to challenge your own viewpoints and make you debate whether or not you agree with the characters or not. So this film, it's a Spanish film and it's presumably set in Spain, apart from you don't really know that. He doesn't say it is set in Spain. It could be set anywhere, and you don't know the time that it's set. You don't know when it's set, if it's in the future, if it's even just a dystopian world. So that's very interesting because if you don't know where it's set, you can just apply it to your own society. It's really one of those films that really makes you question your own ethics and your own limits and your own challenges. So I really like that about the film. The film's whole premise is that there are 3 types of people: those at the top, those at the bottom, and those who fall. And I think it's really, really interesting because those who fall category is meant both physically, because every single month people fall from the platforms. They're either pushed, they either jump because they don't like the platform that they're on and they think, wow, I can't survive on this level, and fall metaphorically. This film is all about surviving the system, and not even just the system of the platform, but the system of the real life. There's the people on top and the people on bottom, and then the people who don't make it. Because of the way that the system's set up, and human selfishness always seems to come on top instead of fairness and treating everyone equally and treating everyone in a way that everyone can make it through the system. It's just set up that not everyone will make it through the system. And the whole idea that the system is set up to fail is very, very interesting, because they have a character in there that even worked for the administration, they call it, like the people who put the whole system in place. And she's the one that interviews people before they go into the platform. She's the one that interviewed the main character about what does she want, what the reason that he's going into the platform and everything like that. And later he gets put on the same level as her. And she herself is very, very, very naive about the situation. She's so naive, she brings her own dog into the system because you're allowed to take one item with you. Like, I'm an animal lover, so I wouldn't bring my dog into this scenario, and that just sort of shows her own naivety, because even though she worked in the platform, she still decided to bring something that she loved into that situation, which if you watch the film you just know that's a no-go. And she ends up being wrong about a lot of the stuff that goes on in the platform. She thinks that children aren't allowed in the platform, even though there's supposedly a child in the platform. So she's just wrong about a lot of things, which I just think is such an interesting character to put in, because it just shows that the system is designed to fail. Even the people that work there don't realise how dysfunctional it is, and they can't even survive in this system that they're building. She is a diplomatic person, she tries to do it all fairly. So she attempts to ration the food that lands on her platform, and she tries to encourage the people down below to do the same, and they are just looking up at her like, are you joking? Like, I'm starving, I'm gonna eat as much as I can. I've been put on this platform where food even gets to, so they're gonna stuff their faces, and they just say, no, we're not rationing. And every single day of the month she tries to beg with them to ration the food down below, because there's enough food for everyone. Apart from people are like, no, we've just been put on this floor from a lower floor, we've risen up, so we're gonna just take as much as we can because we were starving last month. And the woman that's on his floor is determined to try and get everyone to act in solidarity, because there is enough food to go around for everyone, and if they all act together everyone can survive. Apart from the main character realises solidarity is never spontaneous. He's got to do something to really convince everyone down below to do their part and act together. So he threatens everyone down below that if they don't start rationing their food, he's gonna poo on it. So obviously they're all like, oh hell no, I'm not ruining all the food that comes down, I'm gonna start doing my bit. So that's how everyone sort of begins to act together. And the woman's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for getting them to listen, this is great, we can all work together. She's like, now let's convince the people on top of us. And the guy's like, that's never gonna work, I can't threaten to shut upwards. He's like, the people up there are just gonna carry on treating us the way that they always have because they're on top. Why would they look out for the people down below? And it's this whole idea of just the wheel of fortune, because they're just randomly assigned floors. And it's this whole idea that when you're at the bottom you just beg for things to get better, and then when you're at the top you forget about how it was to be down at the bottom. And it's just this whole reflection of humanity and how it sort of is in the real world. And you can see this in society, that when people have got it good they don't want to look out for those that have had it worse, because even if they've had it bad themselves they forget their roots, forget where they come from, and forget what it really was like to have it tough. So those that are at the top, they don't care about the ones at the bottom not being able to survive. So they just think, wow, I've made it to the top. I remember what it was like at the bottom. I was starving last month, so now that I'm at the top I'm just gonna stuff my face and eat as much as I can. And that for them is their idea of fairness within the platform, is that when you're at the top you just eat as much as you can, so you never know when you're gonna end up right at the bottom again and you're gonna need that food. So then eventually the main character has a vision that they can show a message of solidarity, and that might begin to change the way that things are done throughout the whole platform. Every single day the platform goes back up and it's completely empty, and at the minute that's showing that the people who come up with the system are winning, because not everyone can survive the system. But the main character has this vision that if something can make it all the way down the platform without being touched, that they can send it as a message as, see, we can all work together, and then that will shake the people in charge, because they'll be like, wow, if everyone can work together in this little system, and when they've got it tough even work together, then maybe that's achievable outside the platform. Maybe society doesn't have to be this selfish place. And the whole way down they take this perfect looking, like, I think it's a panna cotta, I believe it is, and they take it and they're fighting off people that are coming for this panna cotta, and they're like, no, the panna cotta is the message. They get to the bottom level and they realise that there's been a little child that's made it through the entire platform, even though the woman in the administration, she doesn't believe that children are even allowed in the platform. And they realise that the child is the message. If a little innocent child can make it all the way through the platform, then it shows that everyone can protect the literal weakest people in there. And there's this whole debate. I've seen, like, I was reading up about the platform, and I've seen that a lot of people don't believe that the child was an actual statement. They don't believe that the child was real. They think the child was an hallucination of the main character, and I'm not sure how much I agree with this message. Let me know if you've seen The Platform and what you think, but I know a lot of people don't believe that the child was actually even there. They think it was just an hallucination and a metaphor. I personally think that the film wouldn't have the same effect if it was just an imaginary child, if it was just his own imagination. And that would also explain how a child had made it into the platform, because children aren't technically allowed in the platform. I just think if the child wasn't there, then there'd be no message to show to the people on top. But you know what? Is that actually what happened? Was change possible? That is the great debate of The Platform. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have seen The Platform. The Platform honestly blew my mind because I can't even tell you how gripping it is the entire way through. So that has been my thoughts on The Platform. This film has, when I say really well and truly blew my mind. Like, I watched this with my friends to start off with, and then I literally forced my parents to watch it because I wanted to see their reaction, because like it blew my mind and I just wanted to see it like blow someone else's mind. And it is such a gripping film all the way through, such a good watch, such an entertaining watch. You really don't know what's coming, and just when you think you know what's coming, something else happens. And considering like it's only set within like platforms, so you only see like a floor at a time, they don't really go anywhere, and it's just such a good storyline with such like twists that you wouldn't expect, despite them not even really going anywhere. So this film was so much better than I ever anticipated it to be. I just thought it was going to be a horror, which, don't get me wrong, horror is like my favourite genre ever, so I was already looking forward to it, but it just blew my socks off that extra amount, because it just really had a lot of like substance to it. Yeah, thanks for watching my little rambles on this video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this film, if you have seen this film, or if you think it's an interesting watch. Also let me know any other recommendations. I'm always intrigued to see some new films, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!